This story is called Too Cool for School. It's the winter holidays, Christmas trees, Hanukkah menorahs, shoplifting. In the late 70s, I worked at the Old World Restaurant in Westwood Village. Yes, some of you may know it. It was a health-conscious, hip eatery that served West LA residents, UCLA students, and of course, celebrities. The waitstaff was an eclectic group, some fun-loving gay guys, actors, college students, a few Thai waiters newly arrived from Thailand, and me. It was a fun place to work and we all got along, but I gravitated toward one waiter in particular, a guy named Alan. He was thin, blonde, had a thick 70s mustache. He was soft-spoken, he smoked cigarettes, and had a slightly wicked grin that made you think he might have a secret. Although he had a nerdy vibe and dressed like a 50s car salesman, Alan was actually pretty hip. He was on top of all the latest pop culture trends, new music, and cool fashion styles. He was the first person I knew to get a rat tail haircut. You remember them? Yeah. Short hair with one little section long like this, looked like a tail. So rad. Alan turned me on to some great musical artists like Bonnie Raitt, T-Rex, and the inimitable David Bowie, and the works of artists like Warhol and Rauschenberg. I was always attracted to people like Alan, people whom I thought had a special insight or knowledge about things that were new and exotic. I always had the desire to hang with the cool kids. Then I actually got to be one of the cool kids back in middle and high school, when I became popular on campus from doing plays in drama class. That exposure and notoriety allowed me to move in more social circles at school and helped me win senior class president in 9th and 12th grade. Please hold your applause. You'd think that a pedigree like that would be empowering, but my coolness felt transitory. It was a facade. I felt confused about who I was, like most people in their 20s, and was always running around like the proverbial chicken with its head cut off. One night, Alan and I were hanging out with his buddy, Jody. They were opposites. Alan was blonde, waspy, and low-key. Jody was dark-haired, Jewish, and gregarious. He had a great sense of humor and a fuck it, let's do it kind of attitude. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, and Jody wanted to go nuts and buy lots of gifts for himself and his friends. So he came up with a plan for the three of us to get everything we wanted for Christmas. Jody's plan was to call stores, there was no internet then, and find out the exact cost of the things that we wanted to get. Then he would take either mine or Alan's personal checkbook, fill out the checks with the amounts, and then he would sign them, technically turning them into forgeries. We could shop without having to fill out checks in front of a clerk, denying them time to verify or question anything. And if they did, I was there to present my ID. This was back in the days when most people shopped with checks or cash. There weren't cameras everywhere, and merchandise wasn't scanned to death like it is now. Then, after a shopping spree, I would call the bank and the police and report that my checkbook and ID had been stolen. So we would have a solid alibi if we got caught. I don't remember why, but I volunteered my checkbook. I still wanted to be one of the cool kids. After we spent a few days calling stores and forging the checks, we were ready. Some of the stores we hit are gone now. Robinson's, the Broadway, Bullock's. Along with Macy's, we called the department stores for specific items like clothing, jewelry, stereo and camera equipment, and kitchen appliances. And we called places like Big Five Sporting Goods for tennis shoes, camping gear, and outerwear. Finally, it was 1 week before Christmas, 1 week before D-Day. The stores were jammed with people shopping. It was perfect. We'd be less scrutinized by the clerks, and we'd be oh so busy. The three of us walked through these stores feeling like badass gangsters. We were going to take down the corporate overlords of retail. So, we'd go to the customer service desk, having called and reserved our items, and I'd present the checks. The clerk would give us our stuff, and off we went. Simple, right? An elegant, well-planned heist. Not like these crude, vulgar flash mob robberies that you see on the news today. I mean, total chaos. No. We were just three guys shopping for the holidays. I psyched myself up for this adventure, convincing myself that I was like a noble outlaw, like Robin Hood. We were robbing from the rich to give to the poor. Us. First world poor. Not hungry, not destitute, just three guys who needed ego strokes, a desperate self-esteem boost, and stories they could tell later in life in shows like this. It worked so well, we decided to stretch it out to a second day. When the weekend was over, I reported my checkbook stolen as planned, and we waited. The stores started calling and writing letters, demanding their money after our checks bounced back from the bank. I just referred them to my police report and my alibi and tried to stay calm. After several weeks, it seemed we were in the clear, enjoying our Christmas loot. No arrest, no fine, and no jail time. But then, the karmic punishment began. First, I started waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, imagining the police knocking on my door ready to drag me off to jail. Then, slowly, some of the things I stole started to leave my life. They got lost, or they broke somehow. I lost touch with Alan and Jody. Then, over the next 12 years, I was mugged in LA 4 times. Once at gunpoint, once at knife point, and twice by assault. Life is energy, cause and effect. What you put out there, you will receive. Was my shoplifting spree the cause that created the effect of muggings? Who knows? 3 of them were totally random. And I don't know anyone else who's been mugged so many times. I just know that being a cool kid is one of the lamest things you can aspire to. You will never outsmart, outshine, or outcool the universe. Thank you.